Everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel Tiny Learn Hub and welcome back to our SQL interview series. So in our today's episode, we are basically working on, some sort of duplicate records. So right now, suppose we are, imagine you are working in a production database, okay, production application, and your manager tells you like we have duplicate records or duplicate customer records in the database. Find them, but it sounds simple, right? But here's the interview question, like how do you find the duplicate records in SQL? And more importantly, how do you find the actual duplicate rows, not just the duplicate values? So in our today's episode, we are going to use this sort of solve these problems by using three different ways. So one is group by plus having, and another one is subquery, and third one is row number. So in this approaches, two of them we are already discussed in our previous episodes, but there are some difference between it. So by the end of this video you will also understand which approach to use in an interview, most importantly. So right now I have created one database into the table, like here it is customer 19, and I have inserted some records into it. Right now our table kind of look like this. Yeah, so this is our table, okay, the customer table. Now, here we have customer ID, customer name, and the email. Now, if you look carefully, some email address appear more than once. For example, rahul@gmail.com, this appears more than once, and priya@gmail.com also appears, more than once. So, our first question is, which email values are duplicate? Okay, so for that one, I have write one query. Okay, so this is the one. Now the most common way to find the duplicate is group by plus having. We group the records by email and then we count how many times each email appears. Finally, having counts this line. This line is going to work, keeps only the values that occurs more than once. So if an email appears once and it is good, it is going to ignore. And if it is appears more than two, more than once, like two or three times, then it appears in one, one result, or it will come to get that our results are like this way. So you can get the results into it, like this kind of email IDs are going to repeat it in our database. So this is probably the first solution you should think of, when the interviewer asks you to find the duplicate values. So let me execute this one. Yeah, so as you see, the duplicate counts are here. So these are the way we can find the duplicate values. Now, there are some important distinctions in here, that is group by plus having. Okay, so in here, basically we are using this group by thing like this way. Suppose we are using group by plus having, then we are using it to find the duplicate values. So it will come under like this way. So that is find the duplicate values, and then when we are done with this values finding, it gives you the email plus its count, the count number, the count. This is the one. Now, what is happening? Suppose you guys are using the group by plus having. Okay. Now you are finding the duplicate values in here. Then you can see the email and count into it. Like by using the email ID, you can find the how many email IDs are going to repeat in this database or in this table. So it will be easy for you to find the data thing. So the most but there are important intimations are there. This query tells us which email is duplicated. It doesn't directly give us the customer records. Okay, it just give us the count. Okay, for example, it might tell you that this Rahul at the gmail, this email ID is repeated three times. Okay, this is a count. But what if the interviewer asks you that show me the actual customer records that is duplicated? Okay, now we need another approach for that one. So for that one, we need some another query for that. So that is this subquery. So in this subquery, what is happening, like we can use a subquery. The inner query finds the duplicate emails, and then the outer query uses those emails to retrieve the actual records. Okay, so think of it like two steps. Step one, find which emails are duplicated. Step two, find all the customers having those emails. So this is very useful SQL pattern to find something in a subquery, then use that result to filter the main table. Let me execute this query so it will be easy for you to understand. Now see, this is how you can see the duplicated values in here. Not only the counts, just come under the values in here. Now, there is some another method that is row number we are going to use to find these duplicated records. So in here, let me show you the query first. Yeah, so this is the query. Now, let's solve the same problem using a window function. So, if interviewer asks you if you want to solve it with an window function, then how you can solve it? Then you can use the row number. Row number is a window function. So now this time we are going to use the row number. To remember for this, in the episode 17 we have used that partition by creates the separate groups, right? Here we are partitioning by email. So SQL creates a separate sequence for every email address. For example, rahul at gmail.com, this email id has the it gets 1, 2 and 3. This is a sequence. Priya at gmail.com, this gets the two sequence like 1 and 2. Then we keep row number greater than 1. As you see, I mentioned row num greater than 1. This means keeps everything except the first occurrence. So the first record is treated as the original. Every sequence record is considered a duplicate. Now let me execute the query so it will be easy for you to understand. Yeah. So this is how it goes. Okay. Now here, how row number is powerful for among all these things. Now in here, if I want to show you like if I want to count any kind of powerful method to find the duplicate records, so I am only going to use this row number, because this is where row number becomes more important to using group by plus having or using any kind of subquery. So which values are duplicated, but row number can tells us which specific rows are duplicated. So and that's exactly useful when we later need to clean the data. In fact, this is going to lead directly into our next episode. Okay. Now, what counts as a duplicate? There must be a question in your mind like what counts as a duplicate. Here's another interview trap, like before finding the duplicates you need to define what exactly makes two records duplicate. Is it like the same email or same name and email, or all the columns are identical? So the answer depends on the business rule. For example, if email is supposed to be unique, then we can partitioning by email. But if the combination of email and name defines a duplicate, then we can use like partition by customer name and email, like this way. So always clarify the duplicate criteria before writing the query. That is very useful. Now if I want to give you any kind of cheat sheet to remember all these duplicate records sort of things, how to when to use the query, what to use the query, which is basically needed for us. So this is kind of a good cheat sheet for you guys. Okay, so where it is like find the duplicate values. If you want to find the duplicate values, group by having count greater than 1. So this is the best approach. If you find the actual duplicate rows, then go for the subquery or row number and keeps the original. It keeps the original. Okay. Like here I want to explain like this way. In your interview cheat sheet, like need to find the duplicate values, you can go for by and having. Okay. As I said you, like need to actual duplicate records, you need to find that one, then use the subquery or row number. And want to identify the original record, then row num equals to 1. Or if the want to identify the duplicates, then row num greater than 1. So that is a cheat sheet for you. Now, in our interview challenge, I want to give you today, using this table, like this kind of table, like customer table or order table or any kind of table you have been used, using that particular table, I am giving you this challenge on basis of the customer table only. So find the customers having the same customer name plus email. Okay, more than once. Now return the customer name, email, and number of occurrence into that particular result. I want that query. Into the bonus, I want to add like return the actual duplicate records. Which approach would you use? Like group by having, subquery, or row number. Now it's your turn. Like for this, using this SQL query to create this particular SQL query on your behalf and check it how it's going to work. Okay. Now, so today we have learned three different ways to find the duplicate records in SQL. One is group by plus having, subqueries, and row number. Now, comes to the dangerous part. What if your manager asks you, okay, we found the duplicates. Now delete them. Which record should we keep? And how do you make sure that you don't accidentally delete the original data? So that's exactly what we will solve in episode 20. If the episode helped you, and like this video, subscribe this channel for the more SQL interview series. And don't forget to solve today's challenge before checking the pin comment. See you in the next episode. Till then, bye.